one setup per session. Yesterday's trade, so that was the 10th of March, weekly big level. As we know, it did not hold, but there was a beautiful setup which I did not see and did not trade, which I think was a lost opportunity. Big weekly level. Let's just drop to the 15. And we have this fair value gap on NQ. We also have it on, let's mark it out, on ES as well. It is a balanced price range because we had this inverted fair value gap before, so then it tends to hold normally well. It happens within the weekly level, so I think many people were looking for a bounce since this low was already taken, and this low was of course the next logical target to aim for. So we have not many levels to work from on the 15, but on the 5 minute there was a 5 minute fair value gap. Okay guys, let me see if I can just make sense out of it. So price hit a low, bounced, swept this lows and then just dropped off. And now we're close to the US Open. This is actually a continuation trade. So we were looking here and price was ranging a bit. And what happened is that price swept these levels, and it also did for ES. But then a divergence was created right after US Open, because US Open was this candle. So we changed the state again. Let me just do this, changing the state. Yeah, I call it MSP, that's not correct. So what we have here. So I was actually, this is interesting because I was looking for a reversal because we were in that weekly level, but I had my bias quite wrong, which also explains why I did not take this trade. So we swept in, and this was, I think they call it silver bullet. So we got a retrace to the, I think it was golden fib. Yeah, even better. It was just OTE. Look at that, that's a beauty. But what happened is that during this drop, ES also ran these lows, but then it created an SMT. So while NQ was printing a lower high. It was this one. Yeah. ES was printing a higher high. That's a beautiful SMT within this level, and taking into account that this level is now broken to the upside, we can expect, or at least any retrace is likely to be one to be sold off. While moving down, and I must say, here we created a 5 minute fair value gap. And this 5 minute fair value gap in confluence with OTE entry, silver bullet, I think they call it. Like, this is the 70% level. Perfect. That was good for a sell-off. Especially, but then you actually have to go to a lower time frame. Let's see if the 1 minute presents us with something. Because you want to ideally also see a change in the state here. So we had this level, we had this high, so then I would mark out this level as a change in the state, but then it's actually more or less aligned with the other one. So when price closes below here, you can actually, if you want to be safe, you can take this one, but then you would have to wait for the re-entry. So this is the, let's say, the clinical one. Drop down below and open a short the moment we would get here. That's here. You can take the stop at the high and target these lows, but I think the most sensible level was to tag this low, which was also the last, I think it was previous day low for a 2.4 R trade. and seeing it was just going down, 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 there was another level here. You could hold a runner, because that was actually, that was good for a 2.8, ultimately a 7R trade, but I'm not going to pretend that you would be able to trade that. At least I would not quickly be able to trade that. So this is a good setup, I think. It ticks all the boxes. Yeah, one setup per session. And then if you trade this one, 2.4, you're done. And you're only half an hour in today's US session, regardless of what might happen afterwards.